Bonjour les amis, je m'appelle Archa et je suis votre prof de français. Hello everyone, my name is Archa and I'm your French professor. If you're watching my videos for the first time, let me tell you a little bit about my approach. Well, in my 17 years of experience in academic and professional areas of this language, I've understood and I've observed that most people do not reach the desired level of proficiency and most people give up on early levels is because they try to learn the language without a context. What does that mean? All the different elements of language, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, all put together provide context to the language. Most people focus just on grammar, just on vocabulary. They are not able to put it all together, and that's what I have applied in my approach, that everything new, every new element of the language that you're learning, learn it with context. Well, why should you listen to me? I am not a native French speaker, but the fact that I have had my own learning journey. I was also a beginner once, and I learned the language to the extent that I got my French government scholarship. I went to France, studied, and completed my PhD also. So I may not be an expert, but I know what a beginner feels like. I know what a learner feels like. There is no limit to perfection and I am still learning, but I can tell you what is not the perfect but more correct way of learning. In this video we are continuing the series of vocabulary. Today we'll be discussing about the vocabulary of the airport. Who likes to spend a lot of time on airports? Nobody. And it gets more difficult if you are at a foreign airport and you don't know the local language. Well, most of the people on the airports, they speak English. Still it can get really difficult. So today I'll give you all the vocabulary with sentences. You just need this video to be able to survive on an airport in France. All right, so this video has three sections. I've divided it into three sections. First of all, we learn about all the important words, all the words that I could think of that could be used on an airport, and then we learn about certain verbs that you may have to use talking about airport activities. And then, as usual, as I say, we learn in context, learn with context. So we will do practice of the sentences. That's the most important part of the video, where you will, because these words you can get anywhere, you can get in the dictionary also, but to be able to use them in a sentence and to be able to use them correctly is very important. So stay with me till the end so you'll know how to use these words. All right, so la première partie, les mots principaux, les verbes à utiliser, et après on va pratiquer en contexte. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each one of them. I'll just read the French part because English part is right in front of you. Okay, so let me start. Une compagnie aérienne. Une compagnie aérienne. Un avion. Un avion. Un aéroport. Un aéroport. Les arrivées. L'enregistrement. L'enregistrement. Enregistrement also means to save something. So in this case, it's check-in. La douane. Customs. Les départs. Les arrivées. Arrivées, départ. Une boutique hors task. Yes, our favorite part about the airports are duty-free shops. So, une boutique hors task. En avance. Arriver en avance, this is not limited to airport vocabulary, you can use it in any context. En classe économique. En classe économique is economy class. En classe touriste, we call it la classe touriste also. En première classe. En première classe, in first class. I've never traveled in a first class. En vol. En vol. Une porte. Porte in general is any gate, but Here it refers to the flight gates. You have many gates, right, on the airport where your flight arrives. En vol is a flight. Sorry, I repeated. L'immigration. L'immigration. À l'heure. Être à l'heure. Être en avance. Être en retard. These three things, you can use them anywhere. Être en retard is being late. Être à l'heure is being on time. And être en avance, arriver tôt. We say arriver tôt also. That is arriving early. Okay. As you can see, I have around 35 words for you to remember. Un billet d'avion. Un billet d'avion is your plane tickets. Now, whenever you go to a site to book ticket, it'll ask you round trip or one way. So round trip is aller-retour, going, coming. Un billet aller-retour. Un billet simple. Un billet simple is just one way. Un billet aller-retour. Un billet simple. Economy class, this is repeating, la classe économique, la classe touriste. We also call it la classe éco in informal registre informel. Familier, registre familier. First class, la première classe. Un passeport. Passeport. Un visa. Visa is visa. Good, good. This is good. Une carte d'embarquement. Une carte d'embarquement is your boarding pass. So you can figure that from this word that embarquement is boarding. Les bagages. Un chariot. Very important. Where you put all your luggage and you push it. Un chariot. Les bagages à main. This is very important when you're standing in front of a check-in counter. They'll ask you, what do you want in check-in and what do you want to carry. So the carry-on luggage, the cabin luggage that we call is les bagages à main, and checked-in luggage is les bagages enregistrés, but more popularly it's called les bagages en soute. Les bagages en soute. Les bagages à main, les bagages en soute. Baggage claim when you get out of the flight. La livraison des bagages. Passenger is un passager. Donc, si vous qui voyagez, vous êtes un passager. Pilote. Steward is un steward. Air hostess is une hôtesse de l'air. Une hôtesse de l'air. Now, very important verbs that you may need when you are talking about any airport vocabulary. To board is embarquer. To buy a ticket, it's going to be the first step, obviously. Acheter un billet. To check your bags. Enregistrer les bagages. Enregistrer les bagages. To declare. Déclarer. You do that when you're in the immigrations or for the customs. To land. Atterrir. Landing is atterrissage. Décoller. Atterrir. To make a reservation, faire une réservation. To take off, décoller. There's an accent missing here. There's an ague here. Décoller, English autocorrect. Décoller is to take off. Okay, so this is the most interesting part of the video. This is the most useful part of the video. When you've learned all the vocabulary, you should know how to use it, okay? That's very important. So what I've done is I've made an imaginary text about somebody going to the airport. I've tried to include most of the vocabulary that we've learned in the previous section. So first I'll read it, you read it with me, so that will help you do some reading practice as well. Comprehension. You'll understand also, you'll try to understand also. So it's a wholesome exercise in my opinion. I hope you like it. Je prends un taxi pour aller à l'aéroport. J'arrive en avance. I'll tell you the meaning and we will break them down. We'll read them slowly, don't worry. Donc, j'ai assez de temps pour enregistrer mes bagages et ensuite pour passer à la sécurité. Je cherche le kiosque de ma compagnie aérienne. Après avoir reçu ma carte d'embarquement, je prends une navette pour arriver à l'aérogare. Je passe par le contrôle de sécurité et après j'avance vers le comptoir d'immigration. Il y a un long fil d'attente. L'heure de mon vol est annoncée et le départ est prévu dans une heure. Je me promène en jetant un coup d'œil sur les magasins hors taxes. Je me mets devant la porte pour l'embarquement. On est maintenant au bord de l'avion. Il va décoller bientôt. Le pilote nous souhaite un bon voyage et un bon atterrissage. Okay, now different people depending on their level would have understood different parts of it. Let me explain the entire thing to you. That's my dog. I take a taxi. Je prends un taxi pour aller à l'aéroport. I take a taxi to go to I've kept everything, most of it in present tense, so it's simple for you. À l'aéroport. So I take a taxi to go to the airport. J'arrive en avance. I reach a little early. Donc, therefore, j'ai assez de temps pour enregistrer mes bagages. I have enough time to give my luggage in check-in, and after that, ensuite, pour passer à la sécurité and to proceed towards the security checks. Je cherche le kiosque de ma compagnie aérienne. I search the desk or the kiosk of my airline. Après avoir reçu ma carte d'embarquement, after having received my boarding pass, je prends une navette. Navette is a new word now. Navette is a shuttle. Most of the times when you have really big airports, you have shuttles for going from one terminal to another or from one gate to another. So it's that. Je prends une navette pour arriver à l'aérogare. Aérogare is the terminal. Je passe par le contrôle de sécurité et après, j'avance sur le comptoir d'immigration. I pass through the security check and then I move towards the immigration counter. Did I miss the order? No, it's first immigration, then security. No. Whatever. Yes. Il y a un long fil d'attente. There's a huge queue, which is usually the case. L'heure de mon vol est annoncée. The time of my flight has been announced. The departure is scheduled, est prévu dans une heure, is going to happen in an hour. Je me promène. I take a walk. En jetant un coup d'œil. By jetant un coup d'œil is throwing a glance at something. So I'm just checking the magasin hors taxe. I'm just checking the duty-free shops. Je me mets devant la porte. Se mettre is used to stand somewhere or to sit down somewhere. So je me mets devant la porte. So I'm sitting. I go in front of the door. I sit in front of the door. Not the door, sorry, the gate. Pour l'embarquement, for the boarding. On est maintenant au bord de l'avion. Now we are on the flight, on the aeroplane. Il va décoller bientôt. It's going to take off soon. The pilot, the captain, wishes us a happy journey and a good, safe landing. Okay, now I'll read the entire text again for you once. And the ideal approach is that you write down everything, otherwise you'll forget all these words. So you do this exercise, you write down everything and then you'll never forget it. Je prends un taxi pour aller à l'aéroport. J'arrive en avance. Donc, j'ai assez de temps pour enregistrer mes bagages et ensuite pour passer à la sécurité. Je cherche le kiosque de ma compagnie aérienne. Après avoir reçu ma carte d'embarquement, je prends une navette pour arriver à l'aérogare. Je passe par le contrôle de sécurité et après, j'avance vers le comptoir d'immigration. Il y a un long fil d'attente. L'heure de mon vol est annoncée et le départ est prévu dans une heure. Je me promène en jetant un coup d'œil sur les magasins hors tasque. Je me mets devant la porte pour l'embarquement. On est maintenant au bord de l'avion. Il va décoller bientôt. Le pilote nous souhaite un bon voyage et un bon atterrissage. So that was it. I hope it helped you. And follow this practice whenever you're learning a new word. Make a sentence, look for a sentence, and then remember it with context. That's all for today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be back soon. Till then, au revoir, bonne journée, ciao ciao.